Hey family, welcome back to another episode of Oh to Behold with Camille Young. You looking at her? It's me. Yes, so glad that you have joined me on today. To my holy rollers. Hey y'all, how you doing? Good to see you, holy rollers. Yes, and to my new subscribers, I see we're inching on up. All right, come on, keep pushing that subscribe button, keep sharing these videos so we can get those subscriptions up, okay? All right, but look, let's jump in and dive into today's topic. And I'll get to all of those announcements, and you can always check the description down in the description to see the links for the different things for the book and for the retreat. But I'm going to dive into today's topic, y'all. Today's topic is going to be kind of heavy. It's a little heavy, okay? I'm giving you a notice, that it's going to be a little heavy on today. Today's topic is check your DNA. Are you passing down generational trauma? Check your DNA. Are you passing down generational trauma? This topic came about actually very recently. Probably, I think it was last week. I was listening to Bishop T.D. Jakes, someone that I enjoy listening to, and he was just talking about fear and how those things can be passed down to from generation to generation. The Bible talks about it as well. But it really made me think, and I was like, I want to talk about this with my holy rollers and to others who have not yet subscribed but are maybe watching this video. And I want to ask you that question because it made me self-reflect. It made me think about my life and things that I do or I used to do before I came into the real of who I really am, and the truth of who I really am, pursuing wholeness in my life. It just made me think about the things that I know I don't have biological children, no, but I have mothered and helped to raise several children, family members' children, meaning I play an integral role in their lives and in their rearing. And I just thought about, in the past, how there were things that I used to say, or things that I would do because of the fear that I had, okay? Because of the fear that I had, and because of the traumas that I experienced. I, of course, did not want my nieces or nephews or others, who I have had influence on and, in growing up, as they grew up. I thought about that thing, and I was like, most people, I would venture to say, if not 100% of people, 99% of people have experienced some form of trauma in their life, whether it was in their childhood, where I believe most traumas, most devastating traumas occur in childhood, or going into your adolescence or teenage years, and then traumas can happen later on in life, of course. But Satan many times wants to plant that seed early so he can get you and catch you early. But when I thought about it, I'm like, there were certain fears, or let me go back, there are certain traumas that I experienced in my life, and I talk about them in the book, that really directed my thinking in dealing with others. My fear around rejection, or how I had to deal with a lot of rejection, my fear of failure, okay? Those are things like I dealt with the majority of my middle school, high school, going into my college years, and even coming out of college, going through those things and dealing with those traumas. It caused me to be far more protective and move in a way that tried to keep my nieces or my nephews from feeling the way that things made me feel, knowing that some things are just a part of life. You know, everybody, I don't care who you are, everybody is going to experience rejection. Bottom line, okay? In some shape, form, or fashion, every single person is going to experience some form of rejection, and that is something that cannot be that you cannot not experience in your life. Okay? But I wanted to ask you, what traumas are you passing down to your children or to those with whom you have influence over? What traumas in your life? Is it a fear trauma? Is it a rejection trauma? I already spoke of mine. Is it failure trauma? Is it overcompensation trauma? You know, and I say overcompensation trauma in that, you know, you may have been seen as the ugly duckling or not the attractive one in school. But now, you know, you got your braces or you got your hair done or now you got money and, you know, you looking good. You overcompensate by trying to always be the nice dressed one or the one with the best fashion, or, you know, your face is always beat, you know, all of that kind of stuff. That's what I mean by overcompensation. Or even overcompensating if you were bullied. And so because you were bullied, you want to make sure that you're tough. You overcompensate to show your toughness so that you make sure and ensure that you're not bullied again by anybody else now that you have a voice, now that you feel like you can speak up. Okay, that's what I mean when I say the trauma of overcompensation. And it could be other things, but these are the things that came to my mind. You know, even around, you know, this one was a big one for me, loss. The trauma of loss. You know, when you've experienced a lot of loss in your life, it can make you fearful because it makes you not want to love and truly connect closely with people, because the fear that, you know, they're going to leave you one day. And that's a painful feeling. I've experienced way more than I desire to. But what I will say when it comes to loss, I would much rather give my all and love a person like I know they should be loved and how I should, you know, love them and lose it than to not have loved at all. Because I'm going to tell you now, this is just me, and I believe this from the bottom of my heart. You grieve a little differently when you've given your all, when you've loved a person to the best of your ability. You grieve a little differently when they leave, okay? It doesn't stop it from hurting, and it doesn't stop you from having pain and sadness, but you grieve a little differently when you've given your all. You know, even the trauma of poverty. You know, I think that's something that we're dealing with even in our community here in Memphis, the poverty and socioeconomic issues that we're having with the crime, because people feel like, well, my mama didn't have nothing, my grandmama didn't have nothing, I ain't got nothing. So, you know, they just live their lives in a manner of with a poverty mentality. Okay, and poverty mentality isn't always because you don't have money. You can have money and have a poverty mentality because you don't know how to properly appropriate your money. That's also a poverty mentality. Okay, that's a lack mentality. If you don't know how to properly appropriate your money, or you have a bad relationship with money because you fear losing it. You fear being broke or poor or whatever. You fear that. So the relationship is still wrong. That's a trauma that you have that you may be passing down to your children. A trauma of loneliness, a trauma of not knowing. When I say not knowing the future. You have anxiety. You know, you always on edge because you don't know what's going to happen. And, you know, all of it, to me, the baseline and the bottom line and the basement of it all comes from fear. That's my belief. All of it comes from fear. And that's not a space in which we want to live. And I put in the title, Check Your DNA, because a lot of those things can be linked back to your mom, your dad, or whoever raised you, the fears that you may carry now. Some of it could have been their fear that they put on you and that you're now putting on your children. So I want you to check your DNA. And if it didn't start with your parents, check you to see what happened with you. Check the trauma in your life to make sure you're not passing those traumas down to your children. Okay? It stops with you. Say that. It stops with you. We are not passing down the negativity, the traumas, the hardships, the heartache. We're not passing that down to our children. We're not passing that down to our loved ones. It stops with us. Okay? All right? And I hope this helped you on today to make you think, because I know when Bishop Jakes was talking about it, it made me think, and I wanted to talk to you about this as well, all right? All right, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Oh to Behold. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, okay? Get your book today at ohtobehold.com. There's a link down in the description so you can go get your book on today. Y'all, and you guess what? Your girl birthday coming up. Yeah. Okay, but look, I'm excited about my birthday. Always excited about my birthday. This is my birthday month, June. Okay, so look, I just wanted to let you know that, all right, in case you want to send me a gift. You know how to reach me if you do. But you can buy a book. That'll be a great gift to give me. Buy a book. Buy a couple books. But anyway, thank you again so much for joining me. And until next time, God bless.